Hey guys, SeetherCord here, and welcome to my newest video for today. Today's video is going to be another storytime video, so it's pretty much another storytime with Seether apparently. Maybe I should make it into a new series for my channel, I don't really know. Anyways, this video is going to be on something that I saw on the furry side of Twitter, which now if I had to be honest, the furry side of Twitter has pretty much earned the title of the most what the hell part of the fandom. Simply because of all the wackiest, craziest things within this fandom happen through Twitter. Now, a major reason for this being the case is because Twitter as a social media platform has now lost pretty much all of its credibility due to it becoming more apparent that it's a very toxic platform that so many people use to argue and fight on, and also get people banned for either very dumb or for absolutely no real reason. Anyways, I want to make this video today because what I saw happen on Twitter a few days ago actually surprised me when it came to how so many furries reacted to the situation. I also want to disclose that I'm not going to mention anyone's names or Twitter handles that were involved with this whole situation out of privacy, and also out of not wanting the drama involved with it to potentially continue further. So anyways, with that all discussed, let's begin the story. The story begins with this woman who I believe is in her early 30s who happens to be a part of the furry fandom. She makes a post on Twitter stating that she's going to be selling her, I believe, 7-year-old son's plushie figurine or something, that just so happens to be worth quite a bit of money. She then further explains that the reason that she's selling her son's plushie is because he, without telling her, spent $300 in in-game purchases on the game Fortnite. Now, it makes sense that she's selling it because she wants to make back at least some of the money that she lost from her son, but also states that she wants to teach her son a valuable lesson. Now, I want to disclose that I think that this was a very reasonable punishment for her son. She didn't come off as overly angry at her son, and she seemed to have a calm and collected approach to the punishment, which is how parents should be in these situations. She even stated that her son has had similar issues with disobeying these rules in the past, and it's becoming more difficult over time for him to understand that what he's doing is wrong. So she did end up selling it to someone and she made some of the money back, and you'd think that this story would end here and that we'd all move on with our lives. Nope. There were so many responses to this woman's post by fellow furries who had said things along the lines of, "What you're doing is potential child abuse," or "You could be mentally scarring your child over this," or "This is child abuse." Okay, I have a couple things to say about this. For starters, I want you guys to know that I grew up in a family that was way more, how do I say it, straightforward about punishments. For example, if I did something bad, my parents would tell me, "I'm gonna whoop your ass." And then I would get slapped on the ass with a belt. And if I was showing signs of misbehavior and was going to continue doing wrong, they would say, "If you don't stop, I'm gonna whoop your ass." And yes, they did say whoop your ass. It's a southern thing. Now I will say that some of the times when situations like this happened, it would be justified, and other times I thought that it wasn't. To give one example of how my parents handled taking away my things, when I was younger, one time my parents threatened to throw my TV in the lake over something I did, and I can't exactly remember what it was over though, and they were very aggressive over it. Which I'm not necessarily judging them over. I didn't really care about it back then, and even now I still don't really care. And the reason that I mention this is that this mother on Twitter who did this never really stated that she yelled or threatened the child over selling the plushie. She was upfront and stern about selling it. She basically said, "This is what will happen because you spent $300 on Fortnite without asking for permission." Which I think that this is a good punishment and I don't think is abusive or psychologically damaging to her child at all. Now, if she just flat out sold the plushie for little to no offense, then I can understand the potential trauma that can come from that. But however, this isn't the case here. And also, I need to disclose that this plushie she is selling didn't have that much of an importance to him. He has multiple plushies, and she's selling the one that just so happened to be worth a lot of money, and he more than likely doesn't give that specific one any more attention than the others. She also pointed out that he is grounded from video games and other forms of technology for an undisclosed amount of time, but however, he can still hang out with his IRL friends. The problem with the people who think that this punishment was bad, I believe that they either haven't really experienced being a parent yet and they haven't been thrown into situations where they have to discipline someone, or they're either teenagers who still have that kind of defiance against their parents, which is something almost every person goes through when they're a teenager. I can even apply that to myself. Like growing up back when I was a teenager, I was pretty much like, fuck you mom and dad, you're dumb, fuck you. The only criticism that I would give this mother is that I think that it wasn't a really good idea to post about it on social media. And I'm not saying posting about selling the plushie, I mean going into detail about her kid's misbehavior on selling the plushie. The reason why is that I feel that it's not good for the child's reputation in the future to be remembered by, oh, you were that kid that misbehaved and his mom sold its plushie because you spent $300 on Fortnite. I think that she's a good mom and she didn't necessarily make her son out to be a bad kid. He seemed like a kid who just had some issues like every other child. It's just that if I had a kid, I wouldn't ever post about him or her on social media negatively. But just overall, this isn't abuse and I don't like how most furries responded to this situation. To me, it just came off as if a lot of us furries are entitled and I'm kind of disappointed in furries in that situation. And with that, that pretty much wraps up this video for today. How do you guys feel about the mom's punishment towards her child? Do you think it was justified? Do you think it was bad? Let me know down in the comment section down below. If you enjoy my content and want to further help out my channel, please consider donating to me on Patreon as well as my coffee. Also, please consider hitting that like button, turning on the notification bell, and subscribing altogether. I have been SeetherCord and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.
You're gonna win because you masturbate.
No, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!